Board. All right, welcome to Mindset Monday. We're so glad that you guys joined us this evening. I know that a lot of you guys just got back from SFR, and it would be easy to say, "Oh, I can't do it tonight because I did Scentsy all last week." But it just shows how dedicated you guys are, and I'm super, super proud of you guys for making this a priority. Hopefully every Monday, so we can see your faces. But we're excited. A lot of you guys were at SFR, which is amazing. Um, I will say that this by far has been the best SFR, which I was trying to think. I guess I've been to '09 was my first one. So 14, well, we had COVID though, so like 12-ish SFRs, and this one was by far, and I don't know if it was by far my favorite because Orville and Heidi were back. It was like mom and dad are back, all is well, all will be well. I mean, shake your head if you felt that way too. Like mom and dad are back. We're good to go. Like Mary's headbanging over there on screen. But it's true. Like it just feels like all is what right with the world to have them. And just Heidi's keynote was just incredible. And I wanted to share, we're going to jump in. I wanted to share a little bit. I know Denise and Leslie and Daryl and some of you guys, Amy, and got to go to a leadership dinner, and I wanted to share a little bit about what they talked about because I know a lot of you guys weren't there, and some of you guys might have heard at the meet and greet me talk about this, but um, it was really cool to hear Orville and Heidi just openly talk about the future of Scentsy and openly talk about where we are. And it was really cool to hear the forward thinking of Orville. Like Orville even said he knew when we had that spike because of COVID, the hyper growth, he knew that what goes up must come down and it would probably be a pretty big dip. And he said, so mentally, I've already prepared myself for this. Now, the dip right now that we're in, it's all up to you guys when we get out of that. He was like, corporate's going to throw everything at you, but it's up to you guys to ultimately put one foot in front of the other and truly work your business. The other cool thing that I thought that Orville talked about, and if you were at leadership, you heard, I'm going to have Denise share a little bit of what she heard and whoever else, but Orville also talked about, he said, what you guys don't know that we've had lots of dips in the Scentsy, if you've been around Scentsy for a long time. He said, but the cool thing was, or is, even in 2014, when we hit a pretty big dip after Grace Adele and Delata, he said, even after that, we made a profit. So even in our worst dips, since he's made a profit, that's how smart Cincy is. It might have been 0.01% profit, but Cincy made a profit, you guys. And that's pretty cool to do in dip years. So Cincy financially is really sound. He also touched on, have you guys raise your hand if you heard that? Hey, Rhonda, if you've heard that Rodan and Fields dropped their consultant September 1st, raise your hand. And you can be honest, keep your hand raised if that kind of scared you a little bit. You can keep your hand raised a little bit. All right. So I'm going to talk on that. So Orville, and some of you might have heard me talk about this at our meet and greet. I think I touched on it just a little bit. Orville said, do not compare us to Rodan and Fields. We are nothing like them. We've never been nothing like them. And I'm probably phrasing it wrong, but pretty much that we're nothing like them. They, and what I know about them, they've been going down for a while. They changed their product, where they manufacture their product to a cheaper product about a year ago. They, as of March, they changed their compensation plan. So a lot of their top leaders quit making off of some of their legs. So that cut my friend's paycheck. She's at the very top. It cut up like 5 or 6,000 a month. So they were heading in that direction regardless, but they have lots of investors, you guys. Since he has zero, it's Orville and Heidi. We don't have someone that owns 51% of the company that's freaking out because we're in a dip. We don't. It's a blessing. Rodan and Fields did. And I don't mean that by any means to bash another company. I'm just saying you can't compare apples to oranges. So have faith that you have two people in charge that they even said, we want this to be around for 30, 40 years. We already know, they pretty much already know of their children who is going to run the company. They have two people in mind, but run the company whenever they're too old and walking with crutches and walkers and in nursing homes. And I mean, they're forward thinking, you guys, which is really, 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 really cool. Since he's never been one that beats to the drum of other direct sales companies, we've never been one that is like the others. We were the fastest growing direct sales company in history. We were the highest selling direct sales company during COVID. We always do things differently. Lots of companies don't have two hyper growths. That means, we're here, we're growing, we're going, we're going. You have a dip and then a huge hyper growth to where you grow way more than you were before the growth or before the down. And we've had two. There's never been a direct sales company that's had three. So Orville said, mark my words, we will be the company that has a third hyper growth that's going to be so incredible. You guys are going to want to be around for the ride. So it was just really cool. Denise, or Amy or anyone that was there, do you have anything you want to add about that? I just think it was so cool. I wish everyone could have heard what they talked about, but anything you can think of that stands out that you heard at leadership that you're like, yes. You're muted, Denise. I see you talking. She said, oh shoot.
I think for me, their transparency, they sat out there and took questions from everybody that were not pre-planned. And for them just to sit there and let people throw things at them. I mean, I've heard them talk a lot like that at leadership and stuff, but it was just different. I just felt like it was so sincere, and they are sincere, but it was from their heart, totally upfront, honest, um, answered exactly what they could, and things they couldn't answer. They'd only been back 2 weeks. They said that. I mean,
They said that a lot. We've only been back 2 weeks.
I know, but
Pat's laughing. He knows.
it was so transparent. I think the other thing for me, and I'm sure a lot of people know this, but I didn't. They kind of explained, like you said, about their kids, how they're going to really be shadowing them and learning and etc. And that was like a big sigh of relief because guess what? As a parent, even when they start being in some leadership roles, they're not going to let anything happen to Scentsy because those are their kids. To me, that was huge, like, sigh of relief for me. I just thought I got to talk to Orville a little bit privately and, just wanted to hear some of the stories from where from the mission, and I mean, he stood there and cried, and I stood there and cried, and when I walked away, I was like, "This is just awesome. Business owners don't do this." I mean, it's like it just really shook me to the core, like, I don't know. And I think I was anticipating them coming back, but I think they came back and just put so much, they just so authentic. I mean, they walk the walk. And I think it was also important, Jack, and like you said, yeah, we're in a dip, but they really put it back on everybody and said, are you guys in it to get out of it? And how are you gonna do it? I mean, by the giveaways we've gotten, just that, everything that's coming out, they've given us every single tool, everything they can possibly give us. We just have to do it. I mean, sorry, we just do, and
Yeah.
I don't think they pulled any punches with that, so
No, and
that's
I think that's what was really eye-opening to me, like, what Orville's saying, like, it's up to you as
mhm,
leaders, you as team members, you guys on this call tonight to get out of this, to
yeah,
stop the bleeding, right? To stop the bleeding and get out, and we will. Will it be this month? Will it be next month? We will. But we all have to do our part. We all have to do our part so that this is around for generations and generations, and it's around for your retirement plan, or it's around so it can pay for your gas and your grocery as things go up. And it's truly up to us when that stops. And I took that to heart because
yeah,
I think, for one, I think it's easy for me to sit back and gripe. My numbers aren't the same, my team members aren't the same, my group numbers aren't the same. And it's easy for me to do that, but I'm like, dude, I gotta hustle. Like I gotta hustle like I did back when I first promoted, back when I first joined. And I talked to a few people this last week about that. If you're not happy with where you're at, change it. You're the only one that can do that. You can harp and you can try to inspire your team all day long, but at the end of the day, it's up to you. You can only control so much. And so for me, it was kind of an eye opening. Like, okay, I'm going to do my part and I'm going to stop the dip. I'm going to recruit like crazy. I'm going to sell like crazy. For the first time ever, I have 2 home parties booked next month. I've got 2 or 3 recruits ready to go August 1st. I am ready, 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 ready. And I'm going to do my part to stop the dip. So what are you guys going to do to stop the dip? after you are not sick anymore, Tammy and everyone else and Leslie. But what are you going to do to do your part? Scentsy and corporate's providing all this stuff for us, but what can we do? And um, I think we could talk about that forever, but it was amazing, you guys. Raise your hand if you guys went to SFR. I think there's so many of you guys that went to SFR. I mean, it was, and I would say like start saving now for Minneapolis. I know for me, I don't know if you guys looked, Daryl, but it's like 10.5 hour drive from where I live. So I'm like, oh my gosh, we can carpool and I don't have to worry about like my bag being 51 pounds. I'm so pumped about that. It was so bad that I even went down to the bellhop and I'm like, do you have a scale? And he was like, no. He was like, let me see it. So he looked it up. He was like, you're right under. So I went whenever when I went to check in for my flight, it was 49 pounds. It's like, dang, that guy knew what he was talking about. Um, but okay, we're going to talk about some things coming. SFR was incredible. We're spoiled. We got so much product. I know Denise has probably product to show, but a lot of you guys got it. So we won't just brag too much, but we got all the new testers, all the new releases coming out. I will say for those of you that didn't get these, that I have two favorites I want to talk about real quick. It is the white peach and cranberry. It sounds crazy, but it's incredible. I wish you could smell it through the lens right here. Yeah, shake your head if you loved this one. Like I loved. And then alpine, I love pine. I love pine. I will melt pine all the time. I'll put it in, I have a warmer on my porch, you guys. And don't laugh. I know Amy's had a warmer on her porch at one time too. Right, Amy? I think you have. Alpine. Yeah, she said, yeah. Alpine Escape. It's just fresh pine. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. So if you went to SFR, you got a bag of testers, you got tons of bars, do you have the warmer to hold up? You got Denise has warmers to hold up. You got
Yes.
warmers. You don't have to take them out of the box if you don't want to. Um, you
Okay with
got
it.
this little thing. Like she's getting that. You guys, this is the coolest thing ever. Look, it's about the size of my hand. It's about the size of a Coke can. It goes in your car, or wherever, but you put the pods in there. Um, it is battery operated. It goes off of two AA batteries, or you can plug it in. I will say it doesn't work unless it's plugged in or the batteries are in. So you can leave it charged. It's not, you have to have the batteries in for it to work. But I put this in my car and it smelled up the entire car. So it works really, really good. And it's just nice looking. I feel like it's a lot nicer than the big Scentsy goes. These are $35 and I think they're going to be a really big hit.
Th-
Denise, did you have a warmer to show them?
I didn't bring it in. I forgot it. The
You're
pumpkin.
good. Oh, yes, the pumpkin. Oh, there, Jess has it. Look at you, Jess. Look how pretty that is. That is gorgeous.
So here's what we found out the first night when we opened it up. If you just take the little lid off,
Yeah.
it's a good warmer for year round.
That is awesome.
So if you just
Oh
want to put
yeah.
this on seasonally,
Yeah,
it's this really pretty like orangish amber, pinky salmon color.
that is awesome. Great, great idea, Jess. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Amy figured that out.
So
Thank
wait,
you.
can I tell a story about the go thing real quick?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm sold on this thing because I get asked all the time, do we have anything with batteries? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is just my passionate, like cannot think about conversations. You have to live this. Okay, so here we are on Southwest, and my husband's in a wheelchair coming back. So we get in the front, like he has to sit in the front row. So we're in the front row. And we've done this for the last 4 or 5 flights. Well, for some reason on this flight, everybody had to go to the bathroom. I mean, that front row was torture. It stunk so bad in that front row. And so I'm like, oh my God, what can we get for these stewardesses? You can't just keep spraying room spray. What could we get? I'm talking to my husband, right? And so, okay, I know people are going to say I can't just start talking to people, but this is what I said. I called the stewardess over and I said, how do you deal with that smell in the bathroom and standing up there doing all the food and the smell? And she goes, I know. Can you smell it? Is it bad? I go, yeah, it's really bad. I mean, it's like a 2.5 hour flight. It's terrible. Okay, I didn't say, I just was talking like it stunk. And she goes, well, I'll try to get some room spray out. And I said, let me tell you something. I have something so much better. And she goes, what? I took it out. I showed it to her because it's battery. They can run it for a couple hours, take it to their next flight, to their next thing. She goes, I'm sold. I'll take 5 of them. And I said, I was like, okay, cool. Of course I'm talking loud. Of course I'm talking loud because I want everybody around me to hear me. And now, shame on me. Doesn't come out till September. Shame on me. I broke the golden rule, Amy, my own golden rule, but I couldn't help it because it was just perfect. So I said, you know what? I said, you sell me 5 more of those. So that'd be 10. I'll send you your pods indefinitely for free. And she said, you got it. You'll hear from me next week. I'll get you an order for 5 more. Y'all, how awesome if I get Southwest Airlines stewardesses.
Oh, heck yeah.
Really?
I
Really?
mean, yeah. And then you could get in contact with corporate and talk about, hey, let's put these in all. Look, Michelle's
Because
smiling because she's like, I got a new idea. Look, I'm going to talk to everyone about this.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, the
Mhm.
thing of it is, it was like I didn't say, "Hey, can I show you something to sell?" I was like, "Oh, how do you stay in that stink?" So I had her engaged because she was customer service oriented. Oh, I'm so sorry, it smells. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm telling you, I'm
Love it.
pumped about that. Yes, I got her name and number.
I love it, Denise. This fire that's in you is awesome. This is the fire that we need. We needed this. We needed SFR. Like this is you talking about it all the time, everywhere you go. I think all of us, we could probably shake our heads and say we needed that reminder to work it constantly. Like the more you talk about it, the more opportunities that come. So
Absolutely.
that is so cool. Um,
Anyway,
I want to bring I want to bring on real quick, Daryl, I want you to talk about like a takeaway that you had, Daryl, just because I think it's cool to listen to you anyways, but just as a guy consultant who was on stage riding a horse, I mean riding your best friend on stage.
Oh my
I'll show you a picture for those of you that weren't there because you're probably like, what are you talking about? Hang
God. So what had happened was
on. What had happened?
I I I misunderstood the assignment.
There he is right there.
Oh,
oh,
she's
you
got the
got the
video.
video?
Okay,
Hey,
continue. I'm sorry.
send that to me.
I will.
um, so I misunderstood what was going on, and so I was like, he's my stage buddy, and so I was like, come on, and the whole way from our seats to the stage, I'm trying to pump the crowd up and everything, and we get up there, and Jason is like, "Where's your cards?" And I said, "Cards? What cards?" He goes, "The people picking, they have cards. You should have got a card." And I was like, "Jason, I don't have a card." He goes, "Well, you got to go back." But anyways, so that's what had happened. Um, so takeaways. First, let me say leadership was amazing. Um, Obviously, having Orville and Heidi back was great, but let me just say one thing. I and those of you who are on it, I don't know half of y'all. Y'all don't know. Most of y'all don't know who we are. But if you're new and you're still like, I like the Scentsy thing, but I don't know because of Rodan and all these other places that are changing things up. So I made keychains specifically for guys. I made some wood ones, and then I did some acrylic keychains. And I made the acrylic ones specifically for um, guys that impact have an impact on me within Scentsy. So obviously, Chuck, Dan, Orville, Jason, all of them, any of them that I could get to. So at leadership, I saw Orville walking by after dinner, and and so I called to him, and he stopped, and I'm thinking handshake, but he stopped, turned around, and with the biggest smile on his face, opened his arms to me, gave me a big hug, said it was how good it was to see me. And, I gave him the keychain and everything. And it was an awesome interaction. And so if there's anything that you take away from that, is that Scentsy is your family. Like, I've never met Orville. I've waved at him. He's waved, um, but to have that from the owner of this wonderful thing, um, embrace me like that, really made an impact. And not just that, he's the patriarch of Scentsy. So that means a lot as a guy within Scentsy. So for those of you who might have husbands who don't want anything to do with it because of my preconceived notions when she took me to our first SFR, tell them to uh, get their heads out of their bum holes and come to take them to World Tour, take them to SFR. They won't regret it. Sorry, don't mean to get off on these little tangents. I needed to say that though. For me specifically as a guy, so the last 9 months, 10 months or so, quite a while, I've been down in the dumps. I've not had motivation to work our business. I've not had motivation to really do anything um, about Scentsy. And a lot of it, is my own mental stuff. But I'd say probably 60-40, 40% being mental, 60% being me being discouraged about our business. And and it's funny, I got really discouraged about our business, and it was my fault, you know, um, that I wasn't fully engaging myself into the business. And so that created this little spiral. This last week at SFR, especially in the sound bites, I don't remember everybody's name, but Melissa Gratz, obviously amazing. But everything put together, it's get back to the basics. Don't overcomplicate everything. And I think that we had a bad habit of overcomplicating things, trying to do too much while not doing enough. And so everything just kind of made sense again.
We got burnt out.
Yeah. Like Les said, we got kind of burnt out. And so hearing all the new perspectives, seeing all of the men there, and in the men's meeting,
And all the new ideas that people were sharing that we can implement in our own kind of way, I think is really going to help as well.
We were, for the last 7 years, we've been stuck in the way that we've always done things. And even when we thought that we were changing our business, we were doing the same things. Like, if we look back, like, we changed absolutely nothing. And so hearing everybody, and it wasn't necessarily even things that they implemented. It was just things that they said and the way that they were said, that just resonated. And so we are going to be getting our passports and the boys' passports for the incentive. We're going to Greece. We're doing that. And
We're gonna buy those expensive passports to light our butts on fire.
but but knowing where Scentsy is and where Scentsy's going, just solidified our decision in joining Scentsy. And
wanting to
so
build our team.
and so we are going to start from zero, from absolute scratch, rebuilding our team. We're gonna tell our team, hey,
you
this is what
to the top
this
with
is
us, or you're gonna watch us from the bottom.
this is what we're doing, and you can come with us, but you're gonna have to have some tough skin, because things are gonna get a little more
Down to the nitty gritty.
if that makes sense. Yeah. So
Daryl, I am so, you have some people in the chat. I don't know if you're reading the chat. They're like, I need to hear this. Yes, yes, yes. I've been coasting for a while. I've been overcomplicating it. I am so glad that you shared all that. It's so true. I mean, now is the time that you're going to have to probably work more than you get paid a little bit. Sometimes you may feel like that, kind of like when you first started, just like you said. I am so glad you said, Daryl, that I'm gonna have to work my booty off and I'm going to the top. I'm going to work, come with me or not. But I think I was talking to Pat, and we were chit chatting, and she was like, "Man, I've made director numbers for 85 months in a row, and there's a chance I may not make it this month." And I told her, and she'll tell you too. I said, you got to work now. Don't wait till the last few days. Work now. Pull out team members that want stuff. Challenge them now. We have 15 days left. It's going to be, we're going to have to do stuff now like we did when we first promoted. It's not going to be where we hit on the 15th of the month or the 25th of the month. It's going to be, I hope I hit the last couple days, like when you first, joined. And it's like that across the board. It's not just you. It's everyone. And so hopefully that makes you feel a little bit better. It's not going to be forever. Mark my words, it will not be forever. But it's going to be it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard, but it's also going to be really fun, you guys. I mean, I can't tell you the relit fire I have since SFR. I have been coasting. I have been coasting during COVID. Things came really easy, and I quit doing home parties because no one wanted to. And so then after COVID lifted, I didn't do home parties because I was coasting, and I didn't change much about my business because I was coasting. And I don't know what it was, but 2 days ago, I just started messaging and messaging. I have to get home parties. That's my love is home parties, and it's so much fun. So I got home parties booked, and then I just started messaging people. Hey, I know prices and inflations are high right now. Have you ever thought about an extra income on the side? My brother's girlfriend, who is the cutest little thing ever. I texted her, and I remember texting her. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm nervous. Why am I nervous? Right. So I get nervous too. And as soon as I text her, probably a minute later, she wrote back and said, I've actually been thinking about joining for a while. You guys, she's going to be a rock star. Why have I not messaged her before now? Because I was scared, because she's pretty much like family. I have 80 million siblings and cousins that sell Scentsy, but she's signing up underneath me because I asked her to. I guarantee you, my sister Christy, if she's watching tonight, she's going to be so jealous she didn't ask. But my point is, just messaging, I have a couple that want to join, and they're people that I've known for a long time. But just doing that and getting excited, I got re-excited again. We had this speaker that, for those of you who are there, probably the most touching speaker I've ever heard. If you haven't watched Nyad on Facebook, it's NYAD. She's a swimmer she's only one of 4 swimmers that has swam from Cuba to Florida to the Key West. And she failed like 4 or 5 attempts previously. And when I keep thinking about, and I hope that you think about this too, when I go through Facebook or go through my customers and think about, gosh, should I text this person or not? I think about Nyad, because she did something that was completely almost impossible at the age of 60. She tried it when she was 20, she tried it in her 30s. She didn't complete it, but when she tried it in her 60s, she completed it. And she didn't quit, and she could have talked herself out of it. She was frozen during the night. She got stung by jellyfish. Her battle's crazy, but she never quit, and she always believed she could. And so when I am asking for home parties, which yes, I get nervous asking for home parties, I thought about her, like she would do it. It's like she's not gonna let anything get in her way of accomplishing her task. So why am I letting outside chatter get in the way of me not succeeding with Scentsy and of me not earning, all I want to earn? Why am I letting that chatter talk me out of that? And so that's just kind of been in my thoughts the last couple of days when I'm thinking about, okay, I got to make this work. I got to get people to join. Stem trip is coming. I want to get sales this month. I think about her, like she would do it if she was in my spot and she wanted to accomplish the goal. She would do anything she can to accomplish that goal. And so that's kind of helped me talk myself out of not doing things the last couple of days. So maybe that'll help you as well. But it is really cool. I mean, I challenge you tonight to go through your contacts, your customers, your Facebook. A couple people I messaged, I went to school with their sister in high school, and I just messaged and said, hey, I thought about you a lot. You guys are traveling a lot with, your sports. I know that can break the budget a little bit. If you want to make some money on the side, I would love to have someone like you join our Scentsy family, is what I said. And so just, putting myself out there all the time. I'm going to try to at least have 5 joining conversations every single day. Every single day. That's just my personal goal. 5 joining conversation, whether it's tomorrow, I've got 3 errands to run, and I'm going to have at least a couple recruiting conversations on my errands. So that's just me personally. I hope that you'll also, um, keep that in the back of your mind too, and get back to when we used to do that, right? Because we're gonna have to do that stuff now to get to where we want to get. We've got to do that now to get Scentsy out of this dip, right? I want to share, which I know it's already 8:32, but I already knew this was going to go a little bit over. If you're sick or if you need to get off, I won't judge, because I'm just so impressed that all of you guys that are sick. I mean, I'm looking at Tammy and she's struggling over there and she's on, and it's inspiring to me because it's easy to not be on. And, I'm really proud of all you guys for being on. But one thing that we're going to really, really push for August, we're doing an active in August campaign, just like we did when COVID first hit. We did an active in April. There is a Facebook page for this. Corporate has just joined. Jason Harwood and other corporate are just going to kind of be overseers and watch every day. There's going to be a 15-minute speaker, a rock star. There's going to be daily tasks on that page. It's going to be a page that you might not necessarily need, but your team needs. You may need to, but we are going to try to get as many people in our organization active. So as many team members active. And if you have a team of 10, 5, 30, and you're tired of them not being active, see if you can light a fire by getting them added, and maybe throw a perk their way and say, if you can get added, I did this with my frontline today, a lot of my frontline, but if you can get active this month, then I'll throw your name in a hat for a set of catalogs or a new scent circle of your choice. You don't have to break the piggy bank. It can be something smaller. You don't have to, do something big, but it's called Active in August. And we are going to try our hardest to get as many people active in Scentsy as we can. So I'm going to post that page on our Mindset Monday page, Facebook page, and you guys can join it if you want. You don't have to. Some people are like, just another page. Oh, Amy, just put it in the chat too. I'll post on our Diva page. Tell your teams about it. Go live on your teams, but do a fun challenge with them to try to get them on that page or just get them active. A couple other things that I want to talk about. A couple things to look forward to. July 29th is the Lord of the Rings limited edition that launches. You have to sell 3 items from the Lord of the Rings collection to count for the 20-year Scentsy incentive. Now, since it's launching so late, you have July and August to sell. But if you're planning on doing the bars as your incentive, I wouldn't wait until August to snatch them. I would get them on the 29th when they release because they can sell out. So I just wanted to put that out there. Some of you guys have already sold warmers. I think Pat, you sold 2 warmers already, I think, which is phenomenal. But if you plan on selling the bars as your 20-year incentive and you sell 3 of them, I would do that on the 29th because I have a feeling those will sell out. So if you wait to do it to August, you may have to sell the warmers to be part of the 20-year incentive. So that's going to launch on the 29th. Set a reminder on your phone. And then a couple other things real quick. Just so you know, September 1st, Harvest Collection, October 1st, Holiday Collection. Gordy Goodness is August 12th. So August 12th, if you want to write that down, is the Gordy Goodness collection launches. So we got July 29th, Lord of the Rings, Gordy Goodness on August 12th, September 1st harvest, October 1st holiday. Another reminder too, you guys know, you guys are smart, you guys are rock stars, but don't be sharing. I mean, Denise was in an exceptional position on an airplane to share that, but don't be sharing this beautiful, beautiful catalog and the products, the new stuff until the very end of August or the 1st of September. Unless you see, like I saw that pig warmer, and I instantly thought of a girl that has pigs, and I know she'll love that warmer. And so I texted her and I said, if you do a party that qualifies, then I will say that, or I'll give you that warmer for free. It's got to be a $500 party, but I'll give you that warmer for free. Plus, you'll get all the host rewards. That's in addition to your party. Guess what? I'm going to use the perpetual reward to get that piggy half price. But she said, yes, absolutely. So that's a party I have for September. So, I mean, there's exceptions like that. I've got a girl, Shelly, who I've been trying to talk into joining. She will join eventually. Her name's Shelly. She will join eventually. She orders every month, at least $100. And she already messaged me and said, I got to have my hands on that new catalog. I know you have it. And I was like, Shelly, but next month is 10% off. I'll order next month, but can you sneak me the new catalog? So I know there's exceptions, but I'm not blasting on Facebook. I'm not posting. So be really, really careful on that. A couple other things. Denise, I was going to ask you, was there any tips from the sound bites that you also wanted to share, like Daryl did, that you just took away? That I know for me, one thing that I heard is Kelsey Smith does 6-pack Saturday. Every Saturday, she picks a different 6-packs and markets it on her Facebook and texts her VIP customers. And I thought that's a great idea. 6-pack Saturday, just kind of a habit to get into. Denise, was there anything that you?
No, the only thing I mean, to me, and Daryl kind of touched on it, it's just everybody repeated back to basics, back to basics. We're not recreating the wheel. You got to share it. You got to do you've got to do parties. You've got, they have, everything is here that we need. We just have to do it. We have to share it. We have to talk about it. One thing I want to give an example real quick about not sharing I busted myself today, and we all make mistakes, and it's good that sometimes you have to reflect on that. I was at my Pilates workshop and my workout, and there's only 12 people in there at a time. And this lady came in, this is my customer. She goes, "Oh, I've missed you. Where have you been?" Once again, I didn't walk up to her and say, "Hi, I just got back from Scentsy convention." Of course, you got to talk loud again. And so I said, "Oh, I've been in Orlando." And she goes, "Oh, what were you doing there?" This is just normal chit chat. And I was like, "Oh, the flowers that you buy, Scentsy, it was our reunion and da 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 da." Okay, she says, "I need some more flowers." Great. I say, big mistake. "Oh my gosh." I said, "Okay, great. Oh, in the fall, we're going to have some beautiful ones. They're going to be colored and all different oranges and yellows." She goes, "Oh, I'll just wait until then." Okay, I busted myself. Because guess what? Guess what? I could have taken her, gotten 3 for $45, and then in September I could have got another 3 for $45. Busted myself. Okay? You got to be so careful. But I was just talking and my excitement was coming through, and I just bleh. So, big
So
mistake.
don't be Denise. I'm glad you shared that because in the
Yeah,
back of
don't
my
be
mind,
Denise.
I love it. Daryl, do you have your hand raised? Do you have your cute little hand above your head?
Yeah, I do. No, I just wanted to say, so one thing that Leslie and I had been talking about, we talked about it on the drive home and briefly, and while we were also still in Florida, is moving away from working our business on social media and digitally in general. Obviously, distance and stuff like that, like, situations vary, but we really want to adjust the way we run our business to like a 80-20 or 70.
Most of our sales come from the text messages we send out,
Mhm.
not on the Facebook.
But right. And to do more in person. So for those of you who are like us and everybody else, since COVID, everybody's gone to Facebook or TikTok or, you know, whatever. But can you find new people? Yeah, probably. But you're gonna have better chances out in the wild. um, you know, and actually talking with people, sending them, you know, giving them samples and having home parties. So that's a direction that we're going to take, because over social media, they can't smell what you're talking about. They can't
Oh yeah,
feel,
we
they,
talked about not doing Facebook parties, like not
yeah,
even offering them until they completely turn us down for a home party.
yeah,
Like don't even mention it.
yeah, because they can't smell, they can't feel it, they can't
Get excited.
get, you know, so they can't physically see it, because we all know lighting ain't everything, you know. So pictures that you post, most of the time the picture doesn't do the product justice. um, so keep that in mind, when you're wanting to do parties or whatever. Do it in person. Bag party, basket party, home party, person, people to people party. So I'm just throwing that out there.
I love that, Daryl. And when I did a party this last fall, there's nothing more energizing than seeing people excited about your product. And that's kind of the energy that I have missed. That's what fuels me. I started my business doing home parties. I grew my business on home parties. A lot of my good customers come from home parties. Someone said that theirs is mainly Facebook. Find your groove. If you're not getting orders, if your PRV is not at 1,000 right now, change things up, right? Most of you guys should be doing at least 500, 1,000 a month, at least. If it's not, change things up. Kim, you had your hand raised. What you got, girlfriend? Unmute yourself. I think Kim is sick too, I think. And you may have to unmute yourself, Kim.
Unmute. Okay, can
There
you
you
hear
go.
me?
I
Can you hear me?
can. Yep.
Okay. I've been raising my hand like this because I'm going to speak a little bit on what Daryl said, but I want to talk. It may sound negative at first, but I promise it's not. And the reason I say this is because I've been doing Scentsy 6 years. My husband we switched. My husband went to SFR with me for the first time ever. And I'm super sick. I look like death warmed over. That's why my face is not on here. But he's never went with me before. Now, in my household, my 2 adult sons, young, 20s, and then my husband has always been, you signed up for Scentsy. Why is it our problem? Now, and I say that because we see Jacqueline and her husband. We see Delinda and her husband. We see Daryl and Leslie. We see Chad and Becky. And you could really get discouraged by that because I don't have that. So when Junior went with me this year, I was like, oh my gosh, how's this going to go? This is going to be really great or it's going to be really bad. Now, Daryl, who Junior has never met before, met him and tells him about the men's group. I had no idea we had a men's group, but I do now. Now, I hope Junior was kind to you. I think he was, because Junior was like, he really liked you, Daryl, and he doesn't like everybody, so I'm happy about that. But he told me later, he goes, babe, there's a men's group. I go, what? That's awesome. He's like, no, that's weird. But it wasn't like he thought it was like stupid. He was just like, that's kind of weird. But he saw all the husbands. He saw that Daryl was in it like Chad. They all had matching shirts, and I go, listen, if you don't watch out, I'm putting you in one of those shirts, so you better just chill. So when you guys see, and again, I say this, you guys see these couples and the husbands are so, oh my gosh, this is so great. I don't have that. And if you don't have that either, I'm telling you, don't give up on that, because I said, well, and I have to be careful because my husband is that man's man. Well, I'm not doing Scentsy and blah, blah, blah. Right. So I was walking a fine line of, well, what do you think? Did you want to, I wanted to ask all the questions, but I couldn't. So I go, so what'd you think? And he goes, oh, it was cool. And I'm like, okay, I'll take that, because for him, that was well, it wasn't as dumb as I thought, kind of a thing, right? Um, he met some great people. He met Daryl. He really liked him. We sat with them. He took the keychain and he's like, because no one's gifted him things like that. He's he said he was waiting for me to come back, and he goes, babe, this lady gave me a cat sticker. And I go, what? And he goes, yeah, she said, you look like you need a cat sticker. And I started laughing. But that's the Scentsy spirit that he got to that he was a part of. He had never been a part of that before. And so I said, well, do you think you want to go next year? He's like, yeah. And I was like, so you guys, he's not bought in. He's not ready to join the men's group, Daryl, but he knows about it. He's not snubbing his nose. He's not, he's thinking, but I'm going to have to gingerly ask him questions and pull things out of him a little bit different. But what I thought was cool is, as soon as, now mind you, this is the first year I've gotten double giveaways, right? And I'm like, ooh, I'm going to sell one minion and I'm going to keep the other. And he says, I'm giving mine to my friend at work for his baby that's coming. And I was so mad, because in my mind, I'm like, excuse me, that's mine to be with, not yours. But he was excited, and he's going to go back to work. And he did this today. And he was like, I go, did you give it to Carlos? He goes, yeah, he was really excited about it. But the other part of that is two things, and I'll finish up. One of the things that Becky is truly one of my best friends. Because of Scentsy, I've met her. She lives in Canada. He truly loves Chad. And so they brought him some whiskey. Now, the funny thing is, our friend had went over to Canada and said, oh, hey, I brought this whiskey back. And Junior's like, what? Well, my friend will bring us some at SFR. So it was a bragging moment, right? It was another touch on Scentsy. So they brought it. And now, so he's excited about his connection, right? And the other thing, and I'll kind of close with this. Melissa Gratt, somebody mentioned her, and she speaks to me. I understand what she says. And she recently told me, and I say this because not everybody do I gravitate to, and not everybody can tell me things. And we're all like that. I think some people can tell us things and some people maybe can't. And Melissa said, you know what, Kim, you need to get out of your own way. And I went, wow, 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 wow. That was mind blowing to me. That was mind altering to me. I have not stopped thinking about those words. And I never thought I was in my own way. So if somebody's telling you something, listen, because when they're telling you something from somebody that you're like, hey, I click with that person. Hey, I understand it when they speak. Listen or ask questions, but be ready to listen to the truth, because I didn't realize. And now that I think about it, I am in my own darn way all the time. I trip over my feet. But now I've got a new goal, and Junior was there to see that, we're going to Greece, sees that we're going to Minnesota. And he's like, I go, okay, we got to do this. And he's like, okay. So all those things, like I said, it may sound negative, but it really wasn't, because I don't want anyone to ever get discouraged by seeing all these couples that are in matching shirts, because Junior refused to wear the Scentsy shirt that we got in the kit. His boss even told him, just wear the damn shirt for her. He would not, and did not. And he was happy to tell me every time he saw a husband not in that shirt. Pointed them all out. So
I feel like Junior's coming around. I feel like just with him
yes.
sharing the minion at
Well,
work.
you've known him, Jacqueline. You know him
Yes.
too, and
Oh,
you know
yeah.
his personality.
Yeah.
And he's an amazing man. And
It's just,
he clicks or he doesn't with people, but
yeah.
he's really kind of black and white. He's just not, oh, no, you'll love it. No, I won't. That's just how it is. So that's what I'm saying is don't give up.
Yep.
And just because other people, we all don't have it how Jacqueline has it. We don't all have our Daryls in the,
Well, and I'll say,
on the
just to add,
bandwagon.
just to add to that, Kim, which I love that you shared this, because like I saw Jennifer English say, I don't have support from my husband, and I'm sure there's
Yep.
other that I don't have support from my spouse. So I
Yep.
absolutely love that you got him there. I love
Yep.
that he connected with Daryl, because Daryl is one of the most amazing guys
Amazing.
and
Amazing.
Chad, and I love Becky. And I will add, you know, Matt, to get him to my first SFR, I told him, I said, you guys can just go to the bar with the men. You don't have to come to anything. And he was like, done. My brother-in-law was coming, and he ended up not missing a general session at all. But I got him there because of that. Now, Amy Mark Charles, I wish you would share just a few minutes how you got JP. So JP is kind of like Junior.
Yep.
He wasn't supportive necessarily since he was her
Right.
thing. And we planned this retreat. Amy, can you just share real quick? I know that it's 8:52. If you have to leave, like I said, we won't judge. This is just, I'm loving tonight. I'm loving all the shares. Can you share how you got JP? It might be a little bit rated R, but can you share?
I'll be real. I think I can say it quickly. So he just really, I had made a comment. He really was not interested. He thought it was kind of stupid. I was even sharing, like, look at these checks I'm making. And look at these promotions. And he just, I don't know. He thought it was dumb. Also, I was spending way too much time and kind of ignoring him a little. And that's why I said you should communicate what you're doing and why it's important to you. And, talk about how much time you can have. And anyway, but I said, hey, there's this retreat. It's for couples and it's Valentine's Day weekend. How about we do that? You come with me, and that's our Valentine. That's your Valentine's Day gift to me, or that's what we do for Valentine's or something like that. Not really that R-rated, but anyway, we sat at a table in the back with, I don't really think he knew anybody because he didn't want to know anybody. And people would come up to me and they were like, Amy, are you okay? Is your husband okay? Because he was like looking so pissed off the whole time. He was just in such a bad mood, and he wanted me to know he was in a bad mood. I'm just telling you. And so then he went to a meeting where it was just the men, like you were talking about. It was just the men, and he was talking to some of them about what their wives had been able to accomplish because of Scentsy and how legit it is. They're talking about the owners of the company and all this kind of stuff. And he finally was like, okay. And all the way home, he was sharing all these crazy ideas with me. So, but he's not involved. He's never labeled a bar. He's maybe like sold a warmer or two for me. You guys, I'm serious. He's been to several SFRs. He's even helped us lead like big meetings and trainings, and he'll design a slideshow for us. But he's not really interested in selling anything. But I can bounce ideas off of him, and he will make sure the kids are taken care of so I can be on a meeting tonight, and he's doing bedtime for all four. And, that's what he contributes. He brings the boxes in off the front porch sometimes, and he'll break them down and put them in the recycling.
I love that. And
We're not all going to have a spouse or a partner who is just 100% into it like we are, but it's okay.
and I remember that very differently. I remember you saying something to the effect of, we can have sexy time on this retreat if you come with me. And then he came.
Maybe that's what I said. I don't remember that part.
I remember. I was like, that is a way to get your spouse there. So maybe you guys need to start saving money for Minneapolis and tell your husband it's just going to be us. We can have a lot of sexy time if you come to Minneapolis. I mean, really, I remember Amy's laughing. I remember that's how it went, and that's how Amy got JP there. But like she said, every degree of support is different. You may not have a spouse. I saw Sylvia said she doesn't have a spouse at home. Or some people said my spouse is, supportive verbally. Like, it's all to a degree. But I do think one thing that Amy said, which we're kind of on a tangent of this, is if you're seeing yourself taken away from your family and you're spending a lot of time with Scentsy and it's not bringing this fruitfulness, or you're not sharing your paycheck with your spouse or your kids, then that can build up resentment. So I would say, try really hard to start busting it with Scentsy, working it like crazy. I don't just mean when it's convenient. I mean, when you get off this call, message to try to get 3 shopping links from people, message to try to get some sales, try to get some recruits. And then when you make some paychecks, put some money aside. And then how cool would it be if you do have a spouse at home that come, February when registration opens for SFR, that you say, hey, don't worry, Junior, I've got your registration paid for and I've got an Airbnb paid for. I've got a hotel paid. I've been putting money aside and I want this to be a vacation for us. So think about those kind of things. Daryl, what were you going to add to that?
Um, so on what you just said about like sharing the paychecks and stuff, when we were in Orlando, we brought our boys with us and we had bought them 3-day tickets to Universal. And we actually gave them our Scentsy card and we said, this is y'all's money to eat and get snacks and whatever on. So they actually used the Scentsy money so they can see, hey, Scentsy's paying for this. So we actually gave them the Scentsy card for them to use while at Universal.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That is so, Delinda, someone just asked you in the chat, was Van always supportive? I feel like he's always been supportive. He's always been big about your dreams. I don't know if he was in the beginning, but I feel like he's always been
Yes,
pretty.
he's always been supportive, but when I first started, he thought it was my thing. He would
Yeah.
help out wherever he wanted, but he considered it my thing. And now he sells for me. He retires Thursday. And I told him that it was just in time because we got some plans. And but he said, we were talking the other day about one of the things that he did for me when I started Scentsy, because it was my second job. I worked at the courthouse and then it was my second job, is he said, well, I will take over the kitchen and I will do all the dinners. And he said the other day, well, I'm retiring and we're going to be doing equal business. So maybe you should start cooking again.
Ooh, he's getting you there. Huh? I like how he's adding that in there, Dan.
But yeah, I mean, he's not one that would go and do a party or anything like that, but he helps. I mean, right now he is wrapping a warmer to send so I can label it and send in the mail tomorrow. That kind of stuff. Just everyday
I
stuff.
love it. I love it. Van's the best. He's always the best. I love him.
But like I
Um,
said, he is nearly deaf, even with hearing aids. So if wherever you guys in a public place, because I know one time Jamie and all them thought he was ignoring them. He just can't hear.
he just smiling. He smiles and nods a lot when he can't hear you, and it's
Yeah, yeah, and
okay.
yes, when he's supposed to
Yeah.
be answering, when he just looks at you kind of funny, that
I'm
means
like,
he
did
didn't
Van really hear me or
understand.
not? But he's smiling, so maybe he did. I don't know.
Can I say something?
Yes, absolutely.
Delinda said it in the chat, but I want to let everybody know, because we're doing a recap at SFR this year for those who weren't there at all and those who are watching the recording. Jacqueline won a very, very, very important, prestigious award. Scentsy created 2 new awards for Superstar Directors. Beyond hitting the title of Superstar Director, there was already one called the Circle of Excellence. If you had 6 frontline, like first generation superstar directors below you. And then they said, well, it's taken a long time. That's very, very, very hard. And Jack, I know you've been so close for a lot of years. And so they decided this year at the 20th anniversary to create 2 more. The first one is if you're a superstar director and you have 2 more, if you have 2 superstar directors underneath you, first generation, and that's called the Circle of Growth. But Jacqueline didn't get that one. She got the Circle of Influence, and that's for having 4 or more superstar directors that are first generation below you. So we want to say congrats because that's pretty awesome. We know we are very, very lucky and blessed to have you as our leader. So thank you. Congrats to you.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you. It was very, very unexpected. We got an email a couple weeks ago, and so all of us were trying to figure out what it was, and none of us did. But it's crazy because I'm gonna get emotional. It's just really cool. I feel really blessed because it's nothing that I've done. It's truly because I have leaders like Amy and Pat and Daryl and Delinda and all of you guys. It's nothing that one person can earn by being awesome on their own. It's because I really have truly an incredible group. I mean, I firmly believe there none of this that has been accomplished could be on my own. So I'm the truly blessed one that God blessed me with all of you guys. And I know that I'm not perfect, and I know that, you know, I know that I'm not by any means, but I'm better because I have you guys in my corner. And so I'm just thankful for each of you. It has been, when you hit superstar director, um you can't go up. It's the biggest title you can get. And so um Circle Excellence has been on my radar for gosh, probably 4 years. I've been one away, and it's kind of the highest thing you can achieve in Scentsy. And it's, getting that, kind of stepping stone towards Circle of Excellence was huge to my heart, because it's validation that I just got to keep doing what I'm doing, and validation that I have the best kick-ass group in Cincy too, because truly, like I said, that's not something I can do on my own. So thank you. Thank you for each of you guys for showing up each week, and, leaders like Amy, who, we're best friends because of Cincy, and it's a friendship that I never would have had before Cincy, and I'm so thankful for it. Um, and because of Amy, Amy's one of my SSD frontlines, so kudos to you for being such a rock star, because you make me look good. So truly, you know, I didn't mean to cry, but in true Orville and Heidi fashion, which I will add, Heidi and Orville both. Orville cried a lot at SFR. Who noticed that? Raise your hand. Like, we're almost kind of getting the soft side of Orville, which I truly love. But thank you, Amy. Thank you for recognizing that. It was a really cool moment. So I promise to always try to make you guys proud. And some of you guys may feel isolated on your own, but I'm always here. I know Amy's here. I don't ever want anyone to feel like they're doing this on their own. And if I can make your life better by anything, I will try my hardest. And I know all of you guys feel that too, and are there for each other. So, like, just hearing Daryl talk to Junior, and Daryl talk to seeing Daryl and Leslie with Chad and Becky, and like the friendships that they have, like that's one of the coolest thing in my mind. It's like all of you guys are creating your own little families within our family, and it's like, oh my gosh, look at cousin Becky over there with cousin Leslie. Like, it just, to me, like, it's the coolest thing to see. We had Robin and Denise Hallam take under their wing Jennifer Cruz, who was at our SFR for the first time. And it's so cool. It's like, oh my gosh, look, my grandkid Robin is over there hanging out with Jennifer. And it's just really cool to see you guys welcoming people and loving on people that you get no money off of. But it's just like we're one family. And so I love you guys.
We
Sorry to
love
cry.
you, Jack.
Oh, love you too, Daryl. Cincy would not be the same without each of you in it, and I hope you guys truly know that. Um,
Hey,
uh,
Jacqueline, one
yes, ma'am.
suggestion, one
Yep.
suggestion. One of my friends, because you talked about, and I want to throw this idea out to everybody. Just because Cincy people are not on our team doesn't mean they won't become family, and doesn't mean that they don't want us to succeed, right? It's not a competition. There's enough Scentsy to be sold and enough people to sell it. Well, not enough people to sell it, but that's our strategy, right? But one of my friends that I become very close to, we literally live in the same town, and we do not see each other. We ran into each other at SFR, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, we're going to do that retreat, right?" And I go, "Oh my gosh, yes." So we're going to do a 1-day retreat. We're going to rent a meeting room at a hotel here in Bakersfield. Her team is going to come. I'm going to invite my team. I'm going to have their teams invite other people. And we're just going to do a mini world tour. Just
That's awesome.
something simple. It's not going to cost very much. But because we're going to rent the little meeting room, not very expensive, there's the pool. And so we're going to have an after party. How fun and creative that here's two people that, again, like you said, aren't going to make a dime off each other, but we're coming together and we're going to do a 1-day event. And this is our first time. We've never done anything like this before. She's as nervous as I am. I don't do these things, but we have to step out of our comfort zone and try something new. Because like Daryl and Leslie said earlier, we were doing the same things thinking we did something different, and we didn't. So do something, and do something like a 1-day event, whether one person comes or 30 people come, that one person is going to go back and tell 30 people anyways. So just try to do something outside of what your comfort zone is, because I have a small comfort zone. I'm a people person, but I don't feel like I lead well. So therefore I don't do the things.
Until
So,
now.
Until now.
Until now. I love that you share that, Kim. I hope all of you guys, I know it's 9:06. I cannot believe we still have 50 people on this chat at 9:06. So I think it's just also just shows how great SFR was and how we all just want more for ourselves, for our business. We probably should end it because people need to get off. Pat is leaving. You guys need to go. But and Cindy, you're on. We love you. We miss you. We hope you're doing better. You're going to hit director this fall, by the way. But August 5th, I want you to mark your calendars. I put it in the chat. We're going to do an incentive Zoom chat. So try to get all your team members on. We're going to break down the points. We're going to try to get you there. If you are local, so Oklahoma City, Tulsa area, August 3rd, we're going to meet at Johnny's Charcoal Burger in Oklahoma City. I would love to see you there. We're going to have a backdrop of Greece. We're going to take some fun photos. We're going to have dessert. It's going to be really fun. But a lot of you guys don't live local. So we're going to do a Zoom August 5th, Amy and I, and we're going to break down everything. And we're going to try to make it very, very doable as much as we can. We haven't seen points yet for everyone. So try to be on that. Denise, Daryl, Leslie, Kim, Pat, everyone, thank you for sharing tonight. We appreciate it. I look forward to every Monday seeing your faces. Next Monday is our leadership chat. It's the last Monday of every month. So I just do a chat with my leaders on Monday nights. So August 5th will be the next one. I hope all of you guys are on because I want to see your face. So try to end this month really strong. What'd you say, Daryl?
Just one quick last thing. Give yourself, put a believe in, what is that word? Belief word, like I am or I will. So that's when we saw the Greece incentive, I said, let's go get our passports because we will earn that. And then when they talked about the top 75, I said, okay, so now we're going to get top 75. We will promote to superstar director. We will earn this incentive, and so will you. So believe it.
Yep. And that's why I'm like, man, like nervous energy makes me go crazy. So I'm trying to get so many people to join. I don't care if I have to get 3 recruits a month. Like if that 60-year-old can swim from Florida to Cuba, or Cuba to Florida, then I can get 3 recruits a month. Like whatever it's going to take, nothing's too big, right? So if you haven't watched it, go to Netflix and watch the Naiad story. But I love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Daryl and Denise. Just thank you everyone for sharing tonight. Love seeing your faces. Go get some sleep. We will see you August 5th on our incentive trip chat. Holler at me before if you want to do a one-on-one or if you just want to chit chat. I would love it. But love you guys. Everyone
Love you,
get back.
Jacqueline. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.